But you see from here, you won once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times in a row and got your C2. I have to say that's pretty damn good. Either your rune quality was much higher than your opponent, or you were just picking and banning really well. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another account review in Summoners War. I really didn't want to make a video on this account, but it was pretty specific on what the account owner wanted. And because of that, I think the video itself will be a lot shorter than the other reviews, so I hope I could get straight to the point. This account owner wants to improve in RTA. There's one simple answer. The number one priority thing that you have to work on is towers. So before we go into the details on this account, I'll show you guys the profile. This account has one LDNAT 5 and his highest arena record was C1 and his highest RTA record is C2. I am actually surprised with his record, especially his RTA. Seeing his runes, RTA is doable. But when I saw his towers, I thought that he would have a hard time reaching C2. But this season, he actually reached C2 and I think this is his best record because it was so close. Bear in mind, this account is only 661 days old. Knowing that the account owner only likes to do or really wants to focus in RTA, I'm assuming he just did the bare minimum to get his towers done. However, I'm going to tell you right now, main point of this video is that you need to do your towers. I know it sounds redundant to a lot of people and I've said this in many other account reviews. However, specifically because this account wants to do RTA, I think towers is just that much more important. Since Summoners War is a type of content where meta keeps changing, you don't really see old videos. So if there's anybody coming in that's new, I think it's really important that they know towers is really important, especially for RTA. Everybody agrees that RTA is such a stressful content. It will suck if you lose knowing that you're not even playing on an even ground. Most to everybody that's playing RTA for real, or at least around C2 and C3, I'm pretty sure they have their towers done. And that just means that they have multitude of stats more than your current account if you don't have it done. So let's go look at the towers first. I'm not going to go into a lot of details on this account review since he's not really into arena. So I'm not going to talk about his arena offense or defense. I'm going to just look at his box, his runes, and go straight into his RTA box. If we look at the towers, you'll see that he has his Sky Tribe Totem not done, his Ancient Sword not done, his Guardstone not done, his Crystal Altar not done. So those are pretty much main stats, right? Speed, attack, defense, HP. And then if you look at his elemental towers, same thing. Water is not done, wind is not done, light is not done. He has a SEMA and he's not even powering up his light towers. I'm not saying that it's important. However, if you want to bring out the most out of your LDNAT 5, you do want to max that tower as well. The dark tower. The only two that he has done is the crit damage and the fire towers, which I believe is for his BGR5 team and probably his trickery. So knowing this, let's go into his box. It's not a huge box, again, because this account is only 660 days old. I do think if you're not a big spender, the size of your box will be proportionate to your days played. So knowing that you've only played for 600 days, you still have a good amount, but it's not like a huge box, right? His total number of 6 stars is around 100, I have to say, or even less than that, 90. But that is still a fair amount. If you look at his Water Nat 5s, he does have the Miles, the Moor, the Barbara, the Bastet, the Wusa, the Water Monkey. Pretty good Nat 5s right there. He has the Cardinal, he has the Masha, he has Juno, Sekhmith, Vanessa, Perna. And then finally he has the Odin, the Wind Monkey. And I have to say that he is probably lacking the most in his wind department. Light and dark, he has the Iris, he has the Asima. I think that's all I have to really say for RTA purposes. Now let's take a look at his runes. He has some good runes in his Swift set. I do think he could probably make 2 pretty fast sets. One really fast, I mean obviously one will be faster, but I do think that he could get a close one in a second set. So it's slot 1, 25, 23, 25, 23. Now this is 23, but it could be 29 if he gets an ancient grind, a legend ancient grind. And I would go for it. I would try farming that because this is a pretty big improvement from your second rune here. That's only 20 speed. So if you even get a hero grind and get a 5, that's 8 speed faster, which is a huge improvement. Huge improvement. Slot 5 is 23, 23. Finally a 29, which could also be a 30. So he has a really fast rune there and another 25. So you can see that he has pretty fast runes. Certain slots are definitely slower, but I do think he could get maybe two quick sets if he does grind this up. Seeing that he did reach C2, I don't think I could advise you going a first turn focused team. Maybe you can go first turn focused team if you're playing with a booster, but you're not gonna have multitude of plus 180, plus 190 support units and damage dealer units that go right next to each other without a booster. So knowing that, I would advise you to probably go a more of a second turn team. Your fastest Swift sets will go on to units that will contest for first turn, or at least disrupt the opponent, such as Sekhmet, because I just see that you have her and I know that you use her. I really wish I know how to use Sekhmet because I have her too, but seeing that you already know how to use her, I think that's the way to go. Put your fastest Swift set or your second fastest, knowing that Sekhmet has an amazing base speed, and your other Swift set will go on either a booster or a unit like Chiyu, right? Or even a Swift more if you decide to go that route. So now let's look at your Despair set, because I'm looking at this because you have a SEMA and you did want to know about RTA. If you want to use a SEMA and RTA, I do believe it's either Despair or Violent, and I think Despair gets more value since she does gain attack bar from her skill, so there is a fairly good chance that she'll get her turn really quickly nonetheless. So I do think Despair and adding that stun chance along with all those debuffs is really beneficial. So let's take a look at the runes here. 23, 23, 24, 19, 21. Okay. So overall, your Despair set is a lot weaker than your Swift set, which is kind of weird, knowing that you've had a lot of fast Swift runes. It's hard to believe that you're really only lucky with your Swift runes, but I guess it's RNG, so that's unfortunate. But if you really want to use your SEMA in the best way possible, I would be working on GB12 and trying to get faster Despair runes, and along the way, maybe even get those Swift runes where you're lacking at. Okay, Violent runes, speed 22, 21, 23, 19, that could be a 23 too, 26, and then 25, 21, 18, and then 27, 24. So it looks like other than 2 slots, every other slot is fairly slow. And if you compare it to your Swift sets, it's definitely slower. But I do see that you're trying to at least grind most of these runes up. Maybe BGR5 is a good priority dungeon that you want to run to perfect certain runes that you are using in your RTA team. And obviously that also helps, right? Because every extra stat adds up, knowing that there are six runes. Yeah, Violent runes, the quality itself, I think is still lower than your Swift runes. Finally, the Will, 25, 19, 22, 19, 22, 19, and 24. So it's pretty clear that your Will runes are the weakest, the slowest, right? There's no point of keeping runes like this. Will and Despair are around the same, and then Violent, and then Swift. I think Swift is overall the best. I'm just saying that because Swift, you really only need speed, and I think your Swift runes are probably the fastest, seeing how most slots were at least around the same page. And Will and Despair runes are not. Either they had one rune that's a lot faster and most of them were slow, or they had 2 runes that were fast and the other slots were slow. But I think the quickest way, if you really want to improve your RTA right now, your RTA team right now, is to do your R5, since there's a lot of runes that still need grinds. I'm pretty sure you're using a lot of these runes, especially the first few runes that I saw that had a lot of speed. So obviously RTA, you need speed. I'm pretty sure they're being used and they're on a unit and if they're on a unit, I know that they are lacking grinds. Then you're lacking like 10-20% in stats compared to your opponent, assuming that they have all their runes grinded and their tower done. But eventually you'll start meeting those people as you climb, so you have to assume that their runes are all grinded, powered up, and their tower's done, while you know yours is not. Taking that into account, I will work on everything that I just said. Now let's take a look at your RTA team. So you did reach C2, and it was this season, right? Yeah, your best score, they all align to this season's score. And I think it's really, really awesome that you're able to reach this. Yes, knowing that most of your towers are around the high level, other than your light and dark, still, it's not maxed. So you're missing, what, 6%, 3% on each of these core stats, HP, attack, speed. And for like damage dealing stats is like a lot more, right? Because those elemental towers were leveled up a lot less. But C2 is still a very good feat. If you take a look at his replays, you'll see that his record is 1506. So he won consecutively multiple times during the last day to secure his goal. I was really surprised that the F3 to C2 border was really close, right? That's like 80 points. 80 points and Fighter 3 got you to C2, which is pretty damn awesome. But you see from here, you won once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times in a row and got your C2. I have to say that that's pretty damn good. Either your rune quality was much higher than your opponent, or you're just picking and banning really well. Look at your team, you have a stripper, 1 stripper. So here, if the opponent took any type of immunity, it might have been a different story, but it looks like he didn't do that. And maybe it might have been different. If you saw an immunity unit, maybe you would have picked out another stripper. I don't know. But yeah, seeing this and seeing how they had Leo, you had Laika. If he didn't ban Laika, he didn't ban Laika because he picked out all these other water units back here to counter that Laika. And I guess that's why you brought out Musa at the end to allow that Laika to survive and not get debuffed. Pretty good pick and ban. I'm pretty sure Laika eventually killed these two and everybody else was able to clean this up. Just check it out. I don't know if my theory crafting is correct. Let's see what gets banned, right? Yeah, Laika doesn't get banned. You ban one of the water damage dealers, which was the Nana. Not a damage dealer, but still a water support. He goes straight for the Moor, because there's Will on Laika. And your Moor dies quickly. Oh, wait. Oh, he didn't finish him off. That was a mistake, right? Yeah, now Laika just cleans up. Ooh. I don't know what his targeting is doing, but it's over if this Laika doesn't get touched. And oh, you don't want to go for Leo here. You want to kill this guy or this guy first, since Leo is what's allowing your Laika to take so many turns, unless your Laika's on a fast build. Usually Laikas are not. Laikas are pure Leo counters in most cases. I know some people just use it in both cases because yeah, he works like that. But mine is particularly on a Leo counter build, so he's slow. So you usually leave Leo last. And I think that's why the game became so close. But good thing is that he's not a really fast team either. So he's not taking too many turns. I mean, he's the one that picked up the Leo and then Ragdoll, so I'm guessing that's why his team he's so slow. But yeah, eventually the Laika cleans up. I don't really think Laika did much here. I think the opponent targeting was a little off. But yeah, so you won that. Let's take a look at some of your other picks. So that was against a F3, so we know that's low. Then you won against this person who was going cleave type of team, and you did go with 2 units that are really good against that. Also the Ayunu, interesting, really good unit against these water damage dealers. I'm pretty sure he banned the Verd, the opponent, because you don't want to get turned. I mean, you don't want to get cut. Or he could have banned the Riley and just hoped for the Verd to not revenge. No, he banned the Verd. Now he's pretty close because of the Verd. So if the Riley resists anything, then he loses. He got everything. Okay. Yeah, he needed that defense break on the Antares. Oh, that's a good Oblivion right there. Yeah, he needed that defense break on Antares, kill this guy, and also put big damage here. I guess the Ayuno just wrecked him. That was a good pick and ban too. This is your box, which is not a huge box compared to all the other reviews that I've done. But there are certain units here that you're not using, so I'll just take them out, like the Luis, the Ladriel. They're very niche picks in RTA. So if you don't know how to use them, there's no real reason to choose them, right? I'd rather have like the Vigor out or even the CN out. I see that you have like a Swift build. I still think that my point stands. If you condense your box a little more, I do believe you could make better builds on certain units, which will help you climb. Like this Barbara C2, do you guys think that people are not fast enough to outspeed this Barbara with a 24 lead? Because you don't have a 33 lead, you're going to be using a 24 lead. I do believe any Oliver plus a fast unit will outspeed that Barbara. And you don't have any unit out here that's extremely fast other than this Triton. Like units like this too, I can't believe you won that game with a non-scaled up Leica. So it just tells me that you picked correctly. However, like I said, that opponent kind of targeted weirdly too on that. Low crit rate, wow, slow. Yeah, there's no reason to pick out Rakan. First of all, get rid of everything that has no skill ups. I guess against the Leica, because Leica does work still in certain situations. You've proven that. But if there's units here that's not scaled up, not ruined, there's no reason for you to pull them out. And if you get rid of all of them, you'll probably have 5 units less out here. If you see units like this, a Sema here that's on a Swift build, that's not even being used. Yeah, you don't see a case where you're using the Sema. I think a Sema, if you're on a user, you are going like a cleave type, so probably more. And if they're contesting speed, then you will take the Triton, maybe even the Chiyu if it's ruined, but this is not scaled up, so you might hesitate on it. And it's still fine since Chiyu's skill 3 does not get benefited from any skill ups. It's not like it has a 50% chance. It's still 100% if it goes through the resistance check. If they're contesting speed, I'll go like a full speed comp with a Sema and another AoE damage dealer, maybe in the Cardinal. Defense break into Cardinal still could put a lot of damage. Or defense break. Do you have any other good AoE damage dealers? I mean, even the Cocky is easy to ruin since he has a good base speed. So yeah, you could go like that. But I do think seeing your rune quality, you do fit more of a second turn team, currently at least. And your fastest set will go on like the Sec Myth, like you do have right now. And I guess your second fastest will be on the Triton, because you are using him as well. And fastest Despair is on the more, I hope. Let me see the runes right here, right? Because we do want to see if they're all grinded. That's good. Everything is grinded. Yeah, that's what I like to see. However, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see runes here where they're not fully grinded. Let's look at the Riley, because Riley is a probably big pick as well. Everything grinded. That's good. So at least everything you're using is grinded. Yeah, at least you're not losing any stats here then. But we have seen some good runes that have potential. I know especially here, if you're using that Swift rune, you're losing a lot here, right? A lot of speed, a lot of other substats. This is not plus 15, but at least all the substat wise, they are full. Oh, there you go, even more here. So if you ever get to pick these units out, you know that there are runes that's bringing you down, like this one too, right? You're missing a gem and a grind. It could be a speed gem, speed grind. It could be an attack gem, attack grind. Everything that looks like that adds up. But it is good to see that most to all of the units does have their runes all powered up and grinded. So I think you're doing well. In the end, it comes down to if you have both teams, because technically you're not going to always be first pick. And if they pick out the first unit and that's a unit that you use a lot, for example, or more, it is hesitant for you to go a fast team, since Moore is your only speed lead that I see right now. And without a speed lead, it's really hard to contest speed if they continue to go with speed picks. So that's why I like to have a secondary team, or it could be your main team, but that does the opposite, right? That's really tanky, that takes all the hits, everybody's on will. Once the first turn moves, then it's your turn to retaliate. I see that you do have the box for that. If you get more speed leads, then this could change, because you could then go, well, you do have 2 speed leads, sorry, you have to chew, but I don't think that you're using them that much. And knowing that this is only at 283, maybe you could get your other units fast enough to follow up to this. But however, it comes down to if you're outspeeding the opponent. If you're fighting speed with the chew that's only this fast, what are the chances of you outspeeding them, right? This is why I think you should just condense your box, go with one speed team that consists of 5 to 10 units that you know that you will pick out for certain scenarios and that are fast. And then if any of those core units get stolen in your speed team, then you will pivot to your tanky second turn type of team, and that team will be in a separate set of speeds, and you'll use that to fight that. And again, if you get other speed leads, if you get better, faster runes, then you could build a secondary or replacement units that could replace the units that the opponent has stolen. However, currently it looks like that is not going to be the case, so you'll have to just play as it is. I actually see that you also have Vanessa.